positivity or looking for encouragement. To me, a Brinson aims to educate you, to give you the push to believe, to have the mindset for success. Mindset for success. To have the mindset for success. To have the mindset for success.
Welcome to the Mindset for Success TV show. I'm Temia Brinson, your host, and today our guest is Pastor Jonathan McGriff and Lady Tawana McGriff. How are you doing today, Pastor and Lady?
Good morning.
Good morning. Fantastic.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. Let me have you introduce yourselves. Let's start with you, Pastor McGriff.
I'm Pastor Jonathan McGriff, and you can just call me John. And I'm the co-founder of the Lashai House here in Central Florida.
Awesome. And Lady Tawana.
I'm Lady Tawana McGriff. I usually just say, call me Tawana. You don't have to call me Lady McGriff. I'm actually also the founder with my husband for the Lashai House.
Amen. Amen. I'm excited to have you on. And I've been watching you guys work in the community and in the ministry. Lashai House. What is Lashai House? I know it's a foster care group. Is that the correct term? But you educate me. What is Lashai House?
Well, the Lashai House is actually,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's actually a transition home. I get calls and I get text messages from different people asking me how to start a group home. And I have to let them know I don't have a group home. So I don't know how to start a group home. We have a transition home. And you want to chime in on that?
Actually, it was really started organically. It was started probably about 10 years ago when we worked in a group home. And one of the girls was aging out, turning 18, and they told us to take her to the homeless shelter downtown Orlando. My history working in Orlando as a police officer, I knew how tough that situation was. So me and my wife decided to allow her to just move in our home until she graduated from high school. And so even with that, after high school, me and my wife, we sold chicken dinners to get her established where she could move into a aftercare facility.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now transition home. What is that? That's when you age out?
Yes, the transition home piece is for kids who age out of the foster care system. Sometimes we like to call them the forgotten ones, just because once they turn 18 and they age out, people kind of, forget about them. It's mandated that you take care of a child when they're under the age of 18. You have to feed them, you have to clothe them, you have to give them shelter. But once you hit 18, sometimes if you don't have a support system or you don't have family and you age out of this foster care system and you don't have any of that, we give it at least 60 days. They're either homeless, in jail. We've seen some that have died, got killed, murdered. The girls are usually pregnant or actually working in strip clubs. So that's what the transition piece, that's how we ended up starting the transition piece of it.
Yeah, and that official document, the official statistic is basically 77% of kids that age out of foster care end up in jail, homeless, pregnant within 6 months.
Now within sex trafficking.
Yeah,
wow.
So that's a real statistic. That's not something we just made up.
No.
That's a national statistic, and it's getting worse. And quasi follow that, 80% of the people that are incarcerated spent time in foster care. So we just kind of try to bridge the gap between 18 and, we started 18 to 21. We get people that kind of stay with us a little longer.
Yeah.
But we've had them up to 23 years old.
No, 25.
25 years old, helping them,
Wow.
just transition to adulthood.
Hmm. Oh my goodness, that is
And
awesome ministry. Oh wow.
And the
such a
reality
big
is the
need.
same way that our parents helped us transition. They don't have parents. At 18, I was going to college. I was still depending on my parents. They still helped me and nurtured me, guided me. And when I messed up, they still was there to support me. So that's kind of what my wife and I do with these kids that age out of foster care.
Oh wow, that is awesome. So let's give the audience like a background because I don't know how it works either. I mean, I did some volunteer work and everything back in the day with Cat Catechin Home. Here, I don't think they're doing that anymore, but just a little brush. I had a little brush of that. But can you explain how does the foster care system work? I know you're the transition, but just to
Yeah.
give our audience like an overview, how does it work?
As far as what?
So as far as like kids coming into foster care, they come into foster care as young as 1 year old. A lot of them come in, it's not any fault of their own. It's something in the family dynamic that went astray. Either mom on drugs, both parents. We had a young lady, a great young lady. Some parents die and there's no other family members. So they come in for a myriad of reasons.
And then
To the
sometimes
foster
they come
care.
in due to reasons of their own. I mean, we got numerous stories of different kids of why they ended up in the foster care system. Some are, some are. Most of these kids come from, first of all, just one parent homes. It's just the
Okay.
mom normally. Majority of the kids that we build relationships with or just talk to in passing, they don't know who the dad is. That's one, have no idea who their dads are. Two is you have a lot of grandparents that actually have taken some of the foster kids into their homes, but some of these grandparents are at an age where they can only deal with, a certain amount of stress. And some of the kids do make, some choices and put themselves in some situations that they shouldn't. Sometimes they get really disrespectful to their grandparents. We've seen kids that have hit their grandparents, or the grandparents refusing to pick them up from juvenile detention centers. So it's a lot of different reasons why most of the kids come into the foster care system. And we've seen kids that come into the foster care system that come from great homes, two-parent homes, and parents just giving up rights because they no longer can deal with
Too much. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And then so once in the system, they either go to foster homes, which is not enough foster parents,
No.
and then they end up in group homes. So those are the two ways they go in the foster care system. They're either with foster parents, and sometimes those are great relationships and they end up adopting them. Other times it's people in the foster care system just for money, and they're more traumatized, and then they grow through. Sometimes they end up in foster care. We've had kids that bounce around to over 30 homes. A young man we just took in, he did 30 homes throughout his life.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's not good.
No.
Okay. So after that, after they come through the system and they age out, they go to you. And I heard part of your testimony, but I read a little bit up on it. So you started out taking them in your home personally, right?
Yes.
How many did you start out with?
Well,
Just one?
we started just
And
with
then
one girl. We were just trying to help her.
Yeah, and that wasn't even us starting the Lachey house. That
Yeah.
wasn't the purpose. We just was taking her into our home.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
To help her.
Yeah.
And then while we were still working at the group home, other kids was aging out, and they
And
were
then
like,
find
"Can
out.
I come?" And then they basically kind of found us. And so again, me and my wife, we had a 3-bedroom home with a den. We ended up turning that into a bedroom. And then we ended up going into a 5-bedroom home because another girl had came. Then we were blessed to go into a 7-bedroom home, but it had a huge game room up top. So we turned that into rooms.
Wow.
And then we end up matriculating into 2 homes.
2 homes.
So we had a house that we live in,
Because we was
Mhm.
doing co-ed at one time, and then we had to switch
We
and
had to
go
separate boys in one home, girls in
girls
one
in
home.
Yes,
another home.
ma'am. Yes.
But as we learned more, we were able to handle the co-ed after we got more wise and educated with dealing with young folks. And so now God blessed us 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 1 month ago, whatever it was, 1 month ago, to get a place that is kind of like me and my wife's vision. She wanted a huge house. I wanted something like one of the old-fashioned motels. Well, we were able to get into a brand new 10-bedroom, 7-bath
Yeah.
facility across from a lake. She always said she wanted a lake for the kids to kind of sit on and kind of just relax out. And it's perfect, and it's kind of out in a way, but it's perfect for our kids to kind of concentrate on school, work, and getting better.
Oh, wow.
She's
Yeah,
very
I
good.
saw the video of that, of the facility. So it does look like it was
I'm
uh,
sorry.
older motel that you like renovated and turned into, like, that's such a creative vision to actually take that kind of facility and turn that into like a multi-unit to help people come in and then transition. So, uh, Lady Tawana, what is your method for transitioning? Like, how do you help the I'll call them young adults into their new adult lives?
Well, basically, most of the kids that we have taken into our transition home, we already have relationships with them. So, if we don't have a relationship with them, some of our kids that's in our home have relationships with them, and they tell them about us, and we just kind of build like that, because you got to understand, the kids that we deal with, they're traumatized kids. They don't trust people. So a lot of the times we've already built the relationship, so they just transition from the group home into our transition home.
Okay. So what are the things that you do with them to get them prepared for life? You know what I mean? Because that's the reason why you're doing what you do here, because once they age out, they're just out in the world with no help. So what do you do? What are the things that you do so the community can get involved in helping
Um,
them, be equipped for life?
Yeah, one thing we do is we try to bring in different people from different aspects of life, as far as budgeting, as far as interviewing skills, do mock interviews with the kids, cooking skills, learning how to cook meals, maybe not 5-course meals, but meals they can use to survive. A lot of these kids didn't have any of that stuff. As far as the community, we do. Like jobs, if there's any jobs out there available. Sometimes we have kids in need of jobs. And so just trying to get them well-rounded, spiritually, educationally, emotionally. My wife has a partnership or friendship with the mental health counselor. So we're going to do another event with her coming out. We've done that for some of our younger girls. I don't know if you want to say her name, but she's been doing a lot of wonderful work in the area. So we're going to bring her back out just to talk with the kids and try to get them grounded. And we're trying to use people in their field of expertise.
Right.
And networking too. I have a great group of different individuals that I work with that I can call on, when I'm working with the kids. But most importantly, before they even get to that point of even listening to you or trying to take heed the wisdom and knowledge that you're trying to give them, they have to know that you care about them. They have to know that you love them. They have to know that you're going to be in their corner, regardless of some of the decisions that they make, because they make some decisions that you kind of be like, average person would just give up on them, just because sometimes they make that same choice and that same decision over and over and over. And you just kind of like, what are you doing? So before we even get to that point, it's a lot of walls that we've broken down before they even get to the point of listening to us. Like the young man that just recently moved in, I think he moved in in our transition home in May. Believe it or not, we knew him when he was 14. We actually broke up a fight with him when he was in the group home that we was working for. We was taking over one of the houses. My husband and I worked at the same place for 14 years as a couple. So
Okay.
we actually had to break up a fight. But anyways, he came back to us. He's 18 now. He's looking for a place to go when he ages out. So of course we're like, oh yeah, we know him. He can come. Anyways, we did an event where we try to take the kids on. We've been to Jamaica, Mexico,
Wow.
Atlanta. You know, we take them to different places to try to expand their minds. So we did a trip for 4th of July downtown Orlando. Everything was going good. We were staying overnight in one of the hotels, and lo and behold, he goes in after an incident took place downtown Orlando. They thought it was an active shooter, so everybody's running. We get the youth back to their room. Everybody's safe, and he goes in and he sets off. What did he set off in the bathroom?
Fireworks in the bathroom.
In the
We're
bathroom.
in the embassy suite, so
In the bathroom.
it covered everything. Everything is billowing smoke, and just
Oh,
my
Father.
experience as a police officer. I said, son, do you understand that they think they got an active shooter 15 minutes ago, and
Okay.
you thought this was a good idea?
So what he does, he beats us getting upset, right? And he runs away. Even though he's 18, he doesn't have to stay. However, 2 days later, between him, his case manager, GALs, he calls, he apologizes. And the thing is, he ran because he was so scared, because he's so used to people giving up on him. He's so used to people saying, okay, you messed up, we're gonna kick you out.
And that's part of the reason they came to us.
Yeah.
Because no other placement would take him. He's the kid I was telling you about. There's been 30 placements. He's on probation. He's done a lot of stuff to make people decide, I'm not dealing with you. And those are kind of the kids we deal with the I'm not dealing with you kind of kids. We
Wow.
dealt with everything.
But those same kids that I don't want to deal with you, you've been in 30 placements, those are the same kids that I've seen walk across the stage with their high school diploma. Those are the
Ooh.
same kids that I've seen walk
Hallelujah.
across the stage with their graduating from college. So
Wow.
irregardless of what they come from, what
Mhm.
choices they've made, when you show them love, kindness, and you show them that they can do it, they can make it, and you are that support system that they need, not only can they be successful, they will be successful.
And I'll just add in, my wife she's saying that, but I'll brag on her a little bit. It's a gift. And everybody.
I was about to ask you, how do you do it?
Yeah.
I was about to get into it.
It's God's grace and His mercy and His gift. And everybody has a gifting. And I was just thinking, I don't even think I shared this with my wife, but when I started my church, when we started the church, founded the Shelter Church, we were just thinking, me in my mind, I'm like, man, I want to have a big church. I want to have a multi-purpose church, but I want a big church. I want a big facility. And God saw fit that, no, that's not what I gifted you guys for.
Mhm.
I gifted you guys to take care of my orphans.
Wow.
So with that gift, a lot of people look on the outside and they say, oh, yeah. It's work.
Mhm.
It takes patience, and it takes a gift to do it. So that's why it may look like it's easy. And a lot of people have called me since we opened up. A lot of people say, oh, yeah. I said, well, try doing it for about 10 years, not making any money. And I'll just be real transparent. We were bringing people into our house making $300 a month. We wasn't making no money. Now we were taking people to all those trips on $300.
Yeah,
we paid for those. And what we were trying to do is just expand their horizons. My mom used to take me to different places growing up, and it made me want more, do more. So that's why we, go to the different museums and different stuff a little differently, just to broaden their horizons.
So you have any tips because I know it's hard because regular normal parents, I mean, they have not normal, but parents who have children and they're trying to get them to do certain things, go a certain path. It's hard with your own children. So
Yes.
I know it's hard with other kids who have issues. So how do you, I know you say it's a gift, but let's get a little bit into it. How do you get through to them, especially when they're first coming to you? And I know you say you know them.
Yeah.
Some of
most
them
of the
Some of them we
time.
do, some of them we
them
don't. But here's the
Okay.
one thing I'll say now, turn over to my wife. The reality is you have to let the kid know you love them, number one. So as a parent, they already know you love them. However, you have to understand, and one thing that you have to understand what makes that kid tick and what some of the situations they're going through. Mental health is some of the things. You telling the kid bad, but he has ADHD. It's not bad. He just can't sit there. So now he's having trouble in school, and all you do is boom, 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 boom. Our personal story is in elementary school, our daughter was great. Every teacher just raved on her. She was neat, she was quiet, and she was great. And then when she got into higher grades, she didn't like doing group activity.
Okay.
And me and my wife, we struggled with that we're dealing with kids, and we didn't even recognize that she had
she was actually on the autism
autism
spectrum. She has Asperger's.
So she's
Oh,
high
okay.
functioning. She scores grades. She talks a lot in the house, but socially she's just quiet. So
Mm.
you have to learn your child, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
And in the Black community,
Yeah, that stigmatism
Oh,
that we
yeah.
of mental
have,
illness.
Hmm.
not wanting to ask, not wanting to, because I mean, even in that situation, it didn't take just one doctor. I had to keep pushing, and because I knew something wasn't right. The same thing with our son. He grew up in the school system, and he had ADHD. He wasn't bad or anything; it just was hard for him to sit still. So a lot of these kids that come through our home, they do have ADHD. They do have mental illness. They do have. Some of them are on the spectrum.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a stigmatism placed
No,
on it. How we have
Right.
done it, and I'll
Right.
say me too in the past. We placed stigmatism on mental health, seeing a counselor,
exactly.
taking the proper medication. Because at one time, I do think they over medicated the African American kids. But it's
Yes, and
kind of
they didn't know how to deal with us.
they didn't know how to do it. They just threw every
Exactly.
kid on Ritalin and made them a zombie.
Mhm.
However, I think as science and as we've had more Black mental health therapists and psychiatrists and all
People
of
are
that,
talking
people
about
of
it now.
color, that's that stigmatism that we have to break even with our own biological kids. And I think
Mhm.
that's one of the big things that he might not just be bad. Let's deal with other stuff. She might not just be this. Is she dealing with any other problems?
Yeah, so basically just just staying on top of them. And I'm not gonna lie, one kid, one of our youth we had, he was on track for graduation, doing great. Sometimes, and a lot of times they turn 18 and they figure, hey, I'm 18 and I'm grown. Okay, yeah, you're 18 and you're grown, but you don't have a support system. You don't have
Right.
any family. So what's gonna happen when you go out there and make those mistakes and now you're homeless? So
Mhm.
one kid we had, he was actually from Haiti, and his grandmother murdered his mother. So he
Wow.
came, yes, he came with so much trauma. And I had been working with him from the time he was 16.
Yeah.
He lived in our home at the group home because Jonathan and I was the house parents. And for some reason, he would never see. He would get up in the morning. He would not speak to me at all. He would always
He would
bypass
speak to
me
me.
and speak to Mr. Johnson.
But
So every morning he would, and what we
Wow.
call negative consequences, just because you constantly being disrespectful to me. Just know I'm not going nowhere. I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. But as time went by, we kind of built a little bit of I did with a little bit of a relationship with him, and he ended up
Mhm.
asking, can he move into our transition home?
Wow.
First thing I said was, "Oh, you want to move into our transition home? You barely speak to me in the mornings." And he was like, "No, Ma, I really love you." And I'm like, "Okay, you really love me?" And he go, "Yeah." So, anyways, he did end up moving into our home. It wasn't even 2 months after he turned 18, he ended up in jail. He got arrested for a
Oh,
weed
wow.
charge.
Okay.
Of course, we
which
go
is
we go bond him out.
yeah.
He's so close to graduating. I mean, within 3 months, he's supposed to be graduating. So I'm just like, listen, we bonded you out. You made a mistake, but we're gonna keep pushing. I'm not gonna hold
Right.
that against you because you're gonna graduate. He would come home sometimes saying he want to hang out with his friends. He's high. He's not getting up from school. I'm the typical Black mama. I'm kicking the door open. Get up. You going
Yeah.
to school because you're gonna graduate. Da
Right.
da da da. Put as months go by, Anyways, he walked across that stage, graduating from high school. Not only did he graduate, he had never seen his mother. His mother got murdered.
Never seen his mother.
Never seen his mother. So I did some
Wow.
background. I found out that he had a sister down south. So I contacted the sister and I was like, hey, we having this graduation party. He's graduating. He had some cousins come down, and I asked the sister if she had any baby pictures of him. And she was like, oh, yeah, I got pictures of him and my mom. I said, oh, can you please bring him to the graduation? Because he don't know what his mama looked like because he lost contact with his family. Anyways, sister comes to the graduation. She comes to the party afterwards that we having at the house. And when I tell you, this was my first time seeing him break down crying, I knew we had a breakthrough. And I couldn't do nothing but hug him. And he said, thank you so much. Thank you for the times you kept that door open. Thank you for the times, you stayed on me. But he ended up going to Seminole State. But well, I'm telling you, these kids, they are so traumatized. They just got to know that you're in a corner, that you're not going to give up. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
So yeah, I'm hearing that you have to before, because you do transition, right? So I'm gonna get into what you do afterwards, but before you even get them prepared for a life and to get them financially secure, or even on the path to being financially secure, you have to get their soul straight first, their mind. They're so emotionally damaged that you have to work on the person first.
Yes.
And that's it. And we do a lot. They go to church with us.
Yeah.
When they come in, we let them know that that's a part of it. And we have a different type of church. It's not traditional. We're probably in for about 45 minutes maximum. But we know that's a component of it.
Right.
The education is a component of it. The love is a big component of it. The leadership is a big component of it. And so we just try to do those things to help them move forward.
Wow, that is awesome. Awesome. And then, like you said, you have counselors that you do work with.
Yes.
Now, as far as, because others might be interested in doing that as well, because the need is great.
Yeah.
How do you take care of the counseling part? As far as insurance, or do you have to just do out of pocket? I know you're a pastor, so it may be some coverage there, but how does that work?
Well, a lot of our stuff, we have contracts with Embrace Families, and so they do a lot. But the crazy thing about it, they do a lot, but we have to plan, we have to transport, we have to set up appointments. That part of it is a lot of work. We have to have $3 million insurance policy on our place. It's quite a few different steps into going that way. And then I tell anybody that's interested in it is that your best start would probably be to just think about fostering a kid.
Or go and volunteer. Go
volunteer at a group home.
So you can see some of the behaviors.
Because a lot of times people get into this field because they love and they think they can love on the kids. But love. One of my favorite scriptures is Revelation 3:19. Those whom I love, I will chasten and rebuke. So the love is both sides. My wife is a little bit more open or expressive than me. But yeah, that love is kicking the door open.
Right.
But that love also is bonding you out. And that love also was her giving him a hug and doing the background search and all of that. These kids are hardened through life and circumstances. So I wouldn't tell anybody to jump in it.
No, definitely
full
not.
board. I would say
we've seen people jump in it and they kick the kids out in like 30 days.
We had a young minister and his wife got in it. They were crying every day because they felt so bad for the kids. And 33 days later, we saw U-Haul pulling up saying, we can't stand it. These kids are devils. I ain't messing with them. So I tell people, start slow, start volunteering, like my wife said. Get to know the kids, because everything they come out of your mouth is not yes, sir, no, ma'am. Exactly. That has to be built up with trust. So
And some vulgar stuff come out
some
of their
vulgar
mouth.
stuff come out of their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's work. It's rewarding, but it's work.
Yeah.
And Andrea Webb, I see your comment. First Lady. He said his ministry is different. How? I think he was talking about how they do church.
Well, how we do church in our total ministry, me and my wife, our ministry is the Lashai House. We're the shelter church. And that's part of the reason I chose and we came up with the Shelter Church of God in Christ, because we are a shelter. So it just kind of plays off each other. The Lashai House is named after two of our girls that first came in. One name started with the LA and the other one was Tashai.
LaQuina Tashai. So
we
it's
put that
that's
together.
awesome.
So that's where that
Okay.
name comes from.
That's a
Two of our first.
purpose-filled name. Okay.
It's a purpose. It's not just chosen. The shelter is a purpose. It's not just chosen. So our church is 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Our church is, this morning I had to get up and take some kids at 6:45 to a outreach at a church, another church service.
Yeah, because we want them to be around other kids their age too, that's in the church.
That's not in foster care, that can see them serving God.
And our ministry is a lot different too. You may walk in our church and short pants, jeans. They got earrings in their nose. They got earrings.
Oh yeah, you ministering to the lost. Yeah.
And me and my wife, we heard a preacher preach this probably before I started a church, before I was thinking about a church, and it was Elder Ware. He preached about the desert children, and we truly have desert children in our ministry. We have people that have no idea about church. We have people that have been hurt by church. We have people that live all kind of alternate lifestyles that we accept and we pray, and we know we can't change them, but God can.
I have a young person that I'm working with now. He is transitioning because we have a day camp as well. I don't know if you know that part. We have the transition home, then we have the day camp, which is a drop off for kids ages 12 to 17 that's in the foster care system. But I've been working with this young fella, and he wanted me to watch some documentaries with him. So I sat there and I watched the documentaries with him. And even in the midst of it, and he was just saying, Miss T, I just really love you, because I've been coming to your day camp off and on for about 2.5 months. And he said, you real, you accept me for who I am. You don't judge me. You don't turn your nose up at me. And I said, no, that's not my job, to judge you. I said, but in the midst of all of this, Miss T loves you. I accept you for, who you are. But I just need you to understand, too, that I still believe that God created man and woman. I said, so irregardless of what you feel and how I feel, I still love you and I still got my beliefs, but it's still my job to, I try to, sneak the little ministry in.
Right.
And even in the midst of that, that, talking to this young man that planting the seeds. And, we can't change them anyway, but plant the seeds, some water, and God called increase. But we found out that he was molested at 8 years old. Yeah, he was molested 8 years old by an uncle. So he told my wife that, well, I liked girls until then. And then so what I'm saying is it's bigger. It's a bigger issue. God's the only one that can do it. So we show love irregardless.
Right.
And then we just let God do it. So I'm saying, coming into our ministry, you may come in and see somebody that looks different. They may not have a hat on. They may not look like, what we say church people look like, but I think about it, and in no way I'm equating myself to Jesus or anything, but Jesus hung out with the folks that needed him.
Sure did.
So we go to the folks that need us. And God had to get my mind straight, because I thought, oh man, I'd love to have that 300-seat church with all the church mothers and saints and a row of deacons. And God just laughed and said, son, that's not you. And I thank God that he showed me that early enough that we can still be productive and help people that need help.
Right, right. Wow, that is amazing. Whew, Jesus. And so let's get to the transition part. Now, for the transitioning, now we established that you have to work on the person first before you get into any of these life things. But and I'm sure you're probably doing this simultaneously. So
Yeah.
how do you work? I know you said you have partnerships. So how do you get them young adults after they finish high school? I know you have to work some of them. You have to work them into finishing high school. But how do
Most
you
of
get
them.
them to transition into the workplace or some type of career? I mean, do you lead them like the financial aid part or whatever? Because I know we have community colleges, and Lady Tawana mentioned one of them went to a state college. So how do you transition into them being self-sufficient?
Well, one of the things we do have great partnerships with people. And Sister Doran, the music ministry, she works at Seminole State College, and she
Yeah.
helps a lot with all our kids getting in there. We have partnerships with
Okay.
different agencies that helps
Mhm.
us a lot with getting people in.
The financial aid piece, like I normally, what we
Mhm.
try to teach them to do, because we try to teach them to be self-sufficient too, because they have to understand that Mr. Tawana and Mr. Jonathan is going to be your support system, but we're not going to be in your life, side by side. So the first time, usually when we're doing the financial aid, I'm doing the financial aid with them. But our transition piece is all about
Mhm.
teaching them how, like they leave the foster care system, they don't know how to make their own appointments, like medical appointments. They don't know how to even
Wow.
order pizza. They don't know
What?
how to,
Yeah,
no, no.
Oh,
they know how to
Father.
order pizza.
So our transition piece is always teaching. Like we tell them something, and we did get this piece from working at the group home. Then we give them a rationale of why it's important to do this stuff on your own. So yeah, a
Mhm.
lot of it is just doing it with them at first, and then
Allowing them to make mistakes under our guide. Like we had one young man, we opened a checking account with him,
oh,
and he probably had this young man had $700-800 in the account, and
24 hours.
that Sunday he got it on Friday. That Sunday he had maybe 34
$30.
bucks. When
What?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
because when they're
What
in the
is he
foster
doing
care
with his
system,
money, poor
well,
baby?
they go online and order everything. They ordered everything, and he was ordering stuff from China and whatever he
Yeah.
thought. And he thought it was so.
What?
My sister-in-law has came a couple
Yeah.
times and did budgeting classes,
Right.
trying to get them to budget. So that's one of the things. Finances is one of the big
Big piece.
pieces that we try to get them to understand.
Mhm.
One of the young men working now, he works security at the arena, and we're trying to get him to understand that you have to finance it. When you go out, this adulting is not that easy. So
No.
when you go out, you're
Mhm.
gonna have to pay rent. You like that Wi-Fi? Well, that Wi-Fi is not free. I know it's free at the store, but it's not free in your home. So we just try to tell them and trying to get them into.
We immediately teach them, because a lot of them don't have cell phones. Then when they transition, they're 18, the first thing they want, of course, is a cell phone. So one of the first bills that they have is their cell phone bill. So they get a $200 like allowance stipend from the government,
Okay. Okay.
and they have to be in school. They have to be in school,
School.
and they have to be working. It's called extended foster care.
Okay.
So they have to be doing that, or they get kicked off the program. But
Mhm.
like I tell them, that little $200 that you get, the first thing you need to, we go over needs versus wants. You need
Right.
deodorant. You need soap. You
Right.
need toilet tissue. All those are needs. I said, then you have your wants. Then you go and you pay your cell phone bill. And whatever is left over, then you can do whatever you want to do. But you still need to be trying to save at the same time. And I try to give them a little bit of freedom, but I still have to go in and check their bank accounts to see.
Right.
I had some that was sending money to the OnlyFans on Instagram.
Mm.
Just random women, and I'm just like, what?
Uh-uh.
Oh yeah, honey. Oh yeah.
Hundreds of dollars.
Oh
And
no.
and so the thing about it is the plus one of the pluses of being in foster care when you age out of foster care, the state of Florida will pay for you to go to college from the age of 18 to 28. You can literally get a doctoral
Yeah, I heard
degree
about that. That is
Yeah.
for
awesome.
free, any state
Mhm.
college. So, and there's a vast array of state colleges. You got FAMU, you got Florida State, you got UCF, and you got all the former community colleges, but state colleges now. And but here's the thing: they do that, and the reason they haven't taken that away,
Yeah.
even with the budget crunches, you would think they'd take that away. Only 3% of the kids will get not a 4-year degree, any type of certificate or degree.
Yep.
So that's certificates
Colleges.
from colleges, or that's 2-year
Trade
degree,
school.
4-year trade school. Only 3% of the foster care kids in the state of Florida take advantage of that. And they have that
What?
until they're
Yeah.
28 years old. So some of our kids are getting master degrees now throughout that.
Wow.
One of our girls is actually a physician.
Yeah, she's a pediatrician.
She's a pediatrician.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. So
And
only
her
3%?
Only
Oh,
3%.
yeah, that's a big need. So they just drop off, they age out of the foster care system, and
Well,
they actually have, they may have access to all of this educational funding
Mm-hmm.
they
and
have
not taking
access.
advantage of it. That's like really
Well,
ridiculous.
and then the
That's where the
reality
support
of it
comes
is
in,
that's
yeah.
where the support comes in. The reality is when they age out, they get full financial aid on top of that.
So they get to keep all their financial.
So they're
aid.
getting almost $7,000
Yeah.
a calendar year. That's if they don't go to summer school, and all the classes are paid for already.
Books.
And
everything.
they get a stipend. But what normally happens is without the support system, they'll
Mhm.
get that $3,000 the first semester. Their school is paid for.
Yeah.
They're getting $1,200 from the state of Florida on top of that
A month.
a month. So they're
Mm.
getting $3,000 for the semester, $1,200 a month, and then the school is free, and they lose it because they come from a place where they're getting $25 a month. So now that we had one kid had an apartment, good kid, but
It turned into a trap house. I went over. It's 10 people.
10 people
living there.
laying in his apartment over by UCF.
Absolutely
Oh my
not.
goodness.
So and it was horrible.
Oh
We
yeah,
ended
you're
up getting
right. They
kicked
do
out the
need a
system.
support system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is crazy. Okay, we got to do something about this. Because you're the only ones I know that's doing it. Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing right here. Is other folks doing it, but they don't take the kind of kids we taking. And I'm not going to disparage anybody else, but it's a large agency that does what we do. But they kicked all the kids out because they say they smell marijuana and the kids aren't dressed, And I'm not disparaging them, but we need.
And you probably will smell marijuana.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
when they walk in, and
but that's not. I mean, we
that's
try
not a
to
kick
love-
out
Yeah.
a bold offense to us. We teach against that, we pray against that, and we tell them the negative that will come, like the young man that went to jail.
Mhm.
But what we really need help with is people, and I hate to do such shameless plug, but to buy tickets to our Lashai House event, which is on Eventbrite.
I know that's right.
And because this other
They need to
agency,
give y'all gotta. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Pastor. Y'all have a cash app because this is
we will
ridiculous.
have one up by the end of the day. And
Okay.
I'll get it to you. But the reality is that this other, we did a one before COVID, and I think we might have made $500 on 4 hours or something.
No, we made more than that. It's
$1,000. Well, we did okay.
Yeah, we did.
But what I'm saying is the other agency, they made $800,000 in one night.
What?
And so most of these kids that are dealing with, we got kids of color that's in need.
Yeah.
And we don't just
Mhm.
house them, we give them an experience.
Right.
We show them what is. Me and my wife are already planning a college tour. We give them an experience. We try to show them better. We try to show them a future. So
Right.
that's what we try to do with them. And,
Oh, that is awesome. So let me pull up. Now the event you having in January, right? It's for the fund. That's the fundraiser, right?
yes. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Now the event that you're having in January. That's the
In
fundraiser, right?
yes,
Okay.
and that's January the 15th at 5 p.m. That's a Sunday afternoon. It's a black tie event. We're gonna have a beautiful jazz music being played. Nice dinner. It's gonna be in Altamont Springs, Florida, at the Hilton, and our tickets are available on Eventbrite under the LaShaw House, and you can come and grab those tickets. We'd love for those.
Yes, please.
There we go, right there. We'd love for you to purchase tickets. They're on sale now. And we're going to have a silent auction there. We'll have ways to donate there. The thing about it is, and I know money is tight, you can donate toothpaste, toilet tissue, paper plates,
Okay.
trash bags. So we're just trying to go forward. So whatever you have, we'll.
Okay, so now what
definitely
we donate to, Pastor? Like
I'm
if
sorry.
we just go to the grocery store, I'm just talking to
Yeah.
regular people that just
You
want to,
just message us, we'll pick it
if we
up.
go to the grocery store and while we're shopping, we can just pick up
Yes.
a roll or something or
A
whatever. Where do
roll of
we,
Now, if you
where,
get toilet
where do
paper,
we
make
go?
sure. Okay, well, here's the thing right here. I got it set up to put out. We're going to put on our Facebook page. We're going to ask people to set up bins for us at different places.
Okay.
At your local church, if you want to set up a little gift box where people can donate stuff. And basically, those items I just said: toothpaste, deodorant, feminine hygiene products.
Hmm.
That non-perishable type stuff, and we will come around and pick it up.
Okay. All right.
So
So,
if you want to start now, you can put the bin out for the LaShaw House. We'll send the information out, and then you can contact me, and we will roll around and pick it up. You don't have to come to us; we'll come to you to pick it up.
okay. Well,
Or
both.
we
Go
would love
ahead.
to have some come out and view our facility. Maybe get to
Hmm.
see the kids and
Meet them and
meet
talk
them
to
and
them.
talk to them. See that they're real people, and kind of like our motto for our church: real people, real issues, serving a real God. They're real people, and they need people to love on them.
Right, right. And so, well, I'll be inboxing you. You guys, both of them are on Facebook. I assume you can inbox them, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
let
you
me
can
put a
inbox us.
caveat to that. Be business-minded people. Don't act up. Don't send no crazy DMs. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, we talking about pastor and first lady. Come correct. Thank you.
Yeah, you can get us either on the Shelter Church of God in Christ, the Shelter Church Facebook page, the LaShaw House Facebook page, or my
Okay.
personal Facebook page, Jonathan McGriff.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Yes. Okay. And then the fundraiser, I'm gonna try to get a few people to go with me to the fundraiser in January. And
January
then
the 15th,
January the 15th, 2023. Oh my God. It's almost here.
2023.
It's
This is
almost
great.
here, yeah.
Yeah. So now let me ask you about this. Holidays. What are your holidays like with the transition group, your group home? Because I know, the reason they came out of the foster
Yeah.
program in the first place, because it's probably some turmoil within the home or what have you. What is that like? Are they reconnected with their family members? Is some ministry that has to be
A
done
few.
with
Some
that?
of them are
Or
still connected
Some
with
of
their
yeah.
family members, so we try to, if we
Encourage
do
them.
have them, so we try to encourage them to, stay connected. If they come from a family that's healthy, most of them
right.
don't. But if they do, we try our best to, make sure that they stay connected to that family. And then for holidays, it's just like a
Yeah, we try to
huge
do.
Christmas
Yeah, we
gathering.
try to develop
Hmm.
holiday traditions, and a
Yeah,
lot of these kids are missing holiday
they love
traditions.
holidays, like
So Thanksgiving, we'll have 3, 4,
birthdays.
5,
Yeah,
6 kids that used to be with us. They kind of
come
like
back.
I used to go back to my mom's for Thanksgiving. They'll come back to us. So our
Oh,
Thanksgiving is huge. We'll have,
that is awesome.
15, 20 folks at our Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. They'll start telling me, Miss T, or some of them call me Miss T, some of them call me Mama Wana. You know my birthday in 60 days. You know my birthday
These
in
are the ones
15
that's
days.
left.
Mm-hmm.
My one is, she's 27 now. I said, listen, girl, it's over. It is over. Now stop this. Now, we're not doing this any longer. But yeah.
But all holidays, 4th of July, they come back with us, and we have a good time.
Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, I was wondering about that when I was thinking about preparing for the show. I was like, I wonder, because they have a history, it's probably some history with the family, but I wonder how their holidays go.
It's gratifying, and it's kind of funny to watch, and we tell our kids all the time, y'all just don't get it, but when we have Christmas, and we've always, at our Christmas, the way we do our kids, we would just put one gift out for each kid. And then the night before, when they go to bed, we put all these gifts out. And when these foster kids come and they see one gift, because a lot of them are used to one gift Christmas, and they come out and they see 10, 15 gifts, and you just see the joy that happens.
Oh my goodness.
So it is a joyful thing.
Well, I appreciate you. I honor you guys. I look up to you. You probably don't even, and I know you don't know me on that level. We know each other from being around the church.
Yes.
But I have admired you all because, again, like I say, in my youth, I did some work with a Cadogan home, just briefly, because quite frankly, I ain't have nothing else to do. But and my father was on the board. So, but I did gain, it showed me a lot. And I was so thankful for how I was raised in the home that I came out of. And when you see something like that, you realize that, okay, you have to give. You have to give to the community, because everybody is not blessed like you.
Well,
and we come from, and speaking of being blessed, my husband grew up in a family where he was blessed to have, both of his parents in the home. Married 65 years. I didn't grow up like that. We come from two different walks. I love to tell my testimony to my kids and I'm kind of glad that I'm no longer working in the group home setting, because sometimes when you work in a group home, you can't be transparent with them.
Right.
The group, you have to sign a contract where you don't talk about, things that happen to you, this, that, and the other. So God has blessed us so much that he actually allowed both of us to be able to leave our jobs after 12, 14 years being on the same job, working together. When we left them in May. But now I can be so transparent with the kids to get them to understand, you looking at a product that I could have been in the foster care system. I tell the kids now, 15, 16, they don't even understand. I said, I had 4 felonies. What, Miss T? Why you never told us that? I said, I couldn't tell y'all that because I was working at the group home, so I couldn't tell y'all that. But what I need y'all to understand, your past does not have to dictate your future. I said, so what I'm trying to get you to understand, God can do all things new. If you put your trust in God, I said, when God has put certain people into your lives to support you, to motivate you, to love on you, to help you, to get you to where you need to be, it's your job to grasp hold to what God has placed in your life. I said, so don't think, because most of our kids in the foster care system, they have felonies after felonies after felonies. So sometimes when they transition to 18, some of them are still on probation. So I just try to get them to understand at an early age, because, my mom, she's a pastor now, but back then my mama was an alcoholic. And there was a lot of things that I encountered at such a young age. My mom got hit by a car. She was in a coma for 2 months, walking in the road drunk. But that's what she asked God to do. She asked God to have a car hit her, and that car hit her that same night. But when they pulled that plug, and they told my grandma there was nothing else they can do. So my grandma said, pull the plug. And when they pulled that plug, my mama started breathing on her own. And she been saved, filled with the Holy Ghost, running for God ever since. So It's her prayers that when I was out there acting foolish, and I tell them, stay connected. You got to stay connected to somebody that's praying for you while you out there in the wilderness. You better have somebody praying for you. I said, because it was my mama prayers that kept me. It was my mama prayers that protected me. It was my mama fasting that the devil didn't devour me while I was out there doing all that foolishness. So, and that's why I look at the kids different. You know, some people look at them and they be like, oh, they ain't gonna never amount to nothing. I'm pretty sure somebody looked at me and said I was never going to amount to nothing. But God.
But God, okay.
But God. So I look at these kids a lot different, and I believe in giving these kids a lot of opportunities and a lot of chances. And our work speaks for itself.
And
you know,
the same chances that God gave all of us.
Yeah.
And still give us. Even when you're in church, God still gives us chances. We may look good, but everything ain't always good.
No.
So we still need grace and mercy. And that's what we try to give these kids. Grace and mercy. Don't kick them out after the first thing. Because now, Pastor John was upset when that boy set that firecracker off now. I was upset now. I was upset. But
a whole firecracker in the hotel bathroom.
Like in the hotel bathroom.
And then he was upset. He was upset.
I was upset now. Then he came out the bathroom saying, oh, I didn't do it. Son, you're the only one in the bathroom.
He said, I didn't do it. He was the only one in the bathroom. But we loving on that same young man. He's getting ready to, get his GED program. He's so happy.
Wow.
Yeah. He's just the sweetest he want to be. So, I mean, y'all keep praying for us. Pray that God continue to give us strength to keep doing what he has called us to do.
He called you because most people been turning the key like, dude, okay, on the 31st, you out. But see, you gotta have that. That's how you know that's your ministry when you continue to work with him after that.
Our executive director from our group home that we worked at for so many years, she's pushing us, she's motivating us, and she said people look at y'all and think it's easy, but it's a gift. So that's why it looks so easy. So when I train all the people that I've trained over the years, she said I look at them when I'm walking in the home and they try to mimic how you do it. They can't mimic how you do it because it's a gift. She said, so that's why they end up quitting. I mean, I've trained numerous people at my previous job, and honey, when I tell you within 2 to 3 months, they was packing up and leaving.
Wow.
And like I tell them in the beginning, it's not for everybody. You're gonna encounter some hard days. You're gonna encounter some stuff that you've never heard people say to you before in your life. Yeah. But it's all part of it. They just trying to push you away. That's what they're trying to do.
Wow. So, well, that is awesome. I really thank God for y'all because that's your ministry. Because I can't. Them kids would have been dead. I'm sorry. That's why it's a ministry for everybody. It's a ministry for everybody. So, but I can't help though, and so can you in the audience. We can't help. This might not be our lane, might not be our ministry, what God called us specifically to do. But these are kids that are still in our community.
Yes.
So we still need to look after them. So, like I said, when you go to the grocery store and you shop for you can pick up a roll or whatever, a bulk of toilet tissue or whatever, and shop for another family, shop for those kids and drop it off. It's something that you can do. You can volunteer, you can go to the fundraiser, you can give. So we are all in this together. Amen.
And I think some of it was our shortcoming too, because even when we had our first gala, people like close to us didn't even know what we was doing. So I told Jonathan, I think some of that was our shortcoming.
Some of that was our ignorance, not knowing, and just and to be honest,
they didn't know what we was doing.
That's why a lot of stuff was orchestrated. I know it was orchestrated by God, because even for us to get through where we started and end up here, it's not one business plan. And I'm not saying that out of blame or being ignorant. I'm not saying that out of ignorance, because we're learning more now. But God just orchestrated. He opened doors. He gave us contracts with folks that just saw something in us. And
yes, he did.
And so it's awesome. I'm not telling you to go start a business without a business plan. That's not what I'm telling you.
Now you
I'm
need a
not
business
telling you
plan.
that. You
Yeah.
need a business plan. So we're going back and filling in the holes, and we just
We
we got
acquired another
we
contract
got
in
another
May.
contract in May.
Oh,
We
praise
got an
God.
attorney now.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we're backfilling, but God allowed us to push forward and still continue to help folks. It's just
Wow.
amazing,
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I see it expanding. I see big buildings and big homes, more than a
Yes.
home. I see
Well,
a
We
whole
receive it. We
network.
we
receive it.
receive it, and
Yeah.
We
the
receive it.
craziest thing about it is we got one. We're in the second phase, but we have a third phase that we're hoping to. And when we break the news, we'll break the news right here. We got a
Okay. Well,
third
praise
phase we
God.
hope to be going into in a couple years, and just
Oh,
more of helping
awesome.
kids transition into independence.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for that phase, and we'll come back on the good Lord's will and be able to break that news right here. We'd love to.
Oh, yes, awesome. I love to have you back because I want to really get this out. And they're gonna, yeah, growth is coming. You already been growing, but it's coming because, like you said, 3% is only taking advantage of all
Yeah.
the help that's out there
All
and
Yeah.
the
the help.
funding. And once they know that you all actually provide the support and keep these kids on track,
Yeah.
child boo.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, can I come over, please? Because they know even kids, even though their minds might not be fully developed, so to speak, they
Yeah,
know enough to know that, hey, I need some help. And I just
Exactly.
need someone to just stay on me because
Yep.
eventually I'm gonna have to be on my own.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to make it in this life. So they're gonna be flooding
Yep.
over to you.
And just the encouragement of us, like we check on their school, we meet with their teachers just like we did with our
Our
personal
personal
kids.
kids. Yeah.
So they know a month into school, we're gonna meet with your teachers. They know Miss Tawana checks the computer, you go into class. We ain't having no late. We don't do it like that in our household. And we tell every new kid in here, listen, we're gonna get a lot of love, but we're into accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So your job is to go to school and to graduate. And
Exactly.
then we're going to help you because college is not for everybody, but you need to get another skill. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell them all the time, man, plumbers make great money.
They sure do.
I'm trying to tell you, the
They
AC
do.
guy too, especially in Florida, they make money.
Money.
They make money. And I tell because when you need a plumber, you need a plumber. I don't care if
Mhm,
you're rich or poor, you need a plumber. You're going to have to
mhm.
pay for a plumber. So we try to
Exactly.
get them into all different aspects. Some are college and some are that, but it's something you can do to make yourself employable. Driving a forklift, something we can get you into where you can provide for yourself.
All right, all right. So you guys go to the gala. Go ahead and get your tickets. It's on Eventbrite, and also their Facebook page, Lashai House.
Yes. And please
And
like our page. Please like the LaShaw House page. We're trying to build up. We're going to have more info on our Facebook page, our website. But if you follow us on that Facebook page, LaShaw
Cause
House.
I'm gonna start doing giveaways on the Lashai. Y'all know I like to give away stuff. Y'all
You
know
know,
I like to give
this,
away stuff.
you
Now I
know,
know
yeah,
y'all
we
be
do.
looking at my stuff, so I know y'all know I like to give away. I'm gonna start giving away some stuff on that Lashai House page, but you got to be following the Lashai House page.
okay. And do you have the donate button set up or on the
On our
I think it's on the Lashai.
on the LaShawHouse.org webpage. There's a donate page on there.
okay.
And we're gonna update all that stuff, but it's on there now. But we just want to have people ways to give, and I'll send a shout out to Uncle Matt's Orange Juice, a friend of mine from Claremont. They own Uncle Matt's Orange Juice, the McLeans. They've been very supportive of our ministry. Bishop Reginald Patterson, very supportive in the AIM Ministries. Reverend Darrell Church, New Jacobs Chapel, Missionary Baptist Church, been very supportive. And then just a vast array of course, our families.
Our friends.
Yeah, they've been very supportive. I can't name all of them, but that got us to this point. And
Yeah.
so we're and I'll just being transparent. We're in a lease option. We want to be able to try to purchase this facility in the next 12 months. So we're trying. So all of your donations go directly to that, so we can house these kids long term. I mean, you know, different kids bring them through. We want to.
Because I think the facility we got, like, we can hold up to 14.
We
We
can
can
hold
go
up
up to
We
16,
go up to
but
16. We
we
try
try
to
to keep it
when they
at
first come
14.
in. When they first come in, they'll go in a double room, and then
Yeah.
as they matriculate through, they'll be able to get their own single room.
When they show
Oh, okay.
And they
responsibility.
show responsibilities and all that, and it's awesome.
It's a nice place.
It's a beautiful facility.
Yeah, I saw it. You
Right,
guys
it's
go
good.
on their Facebook page and you can see the
It's really
facility. It's a nice facility, and it's right there on the lake.
Yeah.
Right
it
down there.
is.
I don't fish,
Mhm.
but if you want to fish, come out and show the kids how to fish. I'm not a fisherman.
You know,
But it's peaceful. You can go out there and read
it's
and
peaceful.
Yes.
It is.
meditate.
It's peaceful.
Yeah.
It's peaceful. We are and another thing, if any landscape people out there, not to cut our yard because our kids cut the yard, but we're trying to clean out the lake. So if anybody, I know the previous owners, they had
They
some
had a
churches
church.
came out and did it, but we're trying to clean it. We want to try to keep it cleaned down,
Mhm.
so and eventually put some stuff out there so they can sit and relax.
Oh,
at the lake.
awesome. Awesome. We're gonna wrap this up. We passed an hour. Okay. This is it. We have a lot on today. So I see that this is a need. This is awesome. Awesome.
And let me tell you that your gift is tax deductible. We are a nonprofit organization. So if any of those guys want to come out, if anybody want to come out and help, if they have a business, if it's something they want to donate, instead of giving your money to Uncle Sam, if you want to donate us to help
I know
kids,
that's right.
you know, help break on your taxes. If you have a business,
Mhm.
you know, whatever it is, and we'll accept it. And we are very appreciative to everybody.
All right, y'all hear that? Especially the businesses. This is tax
And
write-off. Okay, boo. Y'all go ahead and work that.
yeah, I know you give to the United Way. I know you give those big wigs. Give to the little guys.
No, give to your community. United Way,
Exactly.
well, I'm not
Yep.
gonna
There
bash
you go.
them, but they have their certain people, but we need to
Yes.
support our people. Just put it like that. Okay, let me make a few announcements and then I'll be wrapping this up. Again, you want to
Yeah.
go to the Lashai House Charity Gala on January the 15th, 2023. This is a ticketed event. Donation $75. Go to Eventbrite and get your ticket for that. Also, the Small Business Association, they have a webinar coming up talking about business development program, and that will be Wednesday, September the 7th at 2 p.m. and that's right on Facebook. You can go ahead and get the information. And I find that for businesses, they give out a lot of good information on how to get involved, like with government contracts and stuff like that. And then also Coach Chad. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a faith and finance conference. Mindset for Success is going to be doing that sometime next year. So keep your ears open and your eyes open for me to announce that the Coach Chad finances have you on the sidelines. So he really teaches you what to do with your money and how to make it work for you and not you just working for your money. Okay. And then lastly, the develop your financial plan. This is September. We're going into September. So October, I'm going to be coming out with the 2023 financial goal planner. So look out for that. Okay. So before we go, Pastor and Lady Tawana, is there anything you want to announce before we go, before I wrap this up?
No, just please
No.
continue to keep us in your prayers.
Continue to pray for us,
Mhm.
and we thank God for everybody that has helped us along the prayer, all the prayers and all the gifts. And we're still trying to do a good work at the Lashai House.
Amen. Amen. Well, I
And thank you for
salute
having
you.
us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We appreciate it very much. So
Oh, I'm honored. I look up to you guys. You are really what is meant to be, what is meant when they say that you need to get involved in the community. You are developing our community. So that is like awesome. Like I put that high on all of these titles, apostle this and prophetess. Look, that don't mean nothing to me if you ain't doing nothing in the community,
Nope.
okay?
Well, that's what I said. We're just Jonathan and Tawana
Nope.
trying to do some work for God. Jonathan and Tawana. So we're not linked to titles. That's not a big thing with us. I've gone to different organizations, different churches. Some of the biggest churches I went through, the pastor say, "I'm just Brother John. I'm Brother." So I mean, we're not caught up into that. We give reverence where it's due, but for us, we're about the work. You know.
Amen. Well, I thank you for coming on.
Thank
And
you.
you
Thank you for
guys,
having us.
wonderful. You guys in the audience, remember we're here every week, Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Facebook Live and then YouTube Live, and then also it reruns, maybe a few episodes behind, but it reruns on Kingdom Purpose TV. If you have Apple TV or Roku TV, you can go on, search for Kingdom Purpose TV, save that channel, and then we're on every Monday nights at 9 p.m. But until then, you guys be blessed.
Thank you.
You have to